What up, everybody? Appreciate everyone for tapping in with us. I really do. The said, yo, what's good, fam? Appreciate you. I really do. Most Def Nature Boy in the house. I see you. We got you coming on next, my man. What's good? Appreciate you. Toe Fix, my man. What's good? What's going on, everybody? So, what up? I am Uncle Chrissy. And we got a special thing here for you today. Y'all know I've been playing around with some things, doing some things on Twitter. And today, something I've had on my mind for a long time is actually running up and trying to get a podcast started. Cactus Birch, what up, man? Appreciate you for tuning in, man. I really do. Apple Juice City tapping in, my man. Appreciate you. Or woman, I apologize. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. But today's a big day. So I finally just decided to let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get it live. Let's go. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get it on. Let's get it cracking. So this is the Drop Shop. Starting something new. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to go, but I figured we'll just start chucking some buckets up there, see how it goes. Got my man Nature Boy Chuck on the line. He's sitting in the background. I see you, my man. We're going to talk to you in a little bit, and we're going to get through some things here. We're going to talk about some things. Some of y'all know, you followed me when I was with Sneaker News. We used to do a show called The Drop Shop on Twitter. It was a Twitter space. We didn't have the video capabilities. I think Twitter's slowly working that out, but it was kind of like a live cop workshop. We teach people how to cop shoes. I'd show everybody my setup. I'd share what sites are worthwhile, what sites are just completely a waste of time, not even get out of bed for, what drops to not even get out of bed for. We're able to get a lot of folks some pairs. We're able to help a lot of people out, teach some young bucks how to run. And we actually brought some guests on too. We had a lot of fun. Yuming, the founder of Sneaker News, came on with us a bunch of times. We had some other big names from the industry, and it was fun. It was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But now it's time to evolve. So I think where we're going with this is the Drop Shop is going to be like a little bit more of a longer format. We're going to have some fun. Y'all know I do what I can to get the early information out there for everybody. I'm probably going to keep those in the same format of the release notes that I've been doing. I got one queued up for tomorrow. Might even have a little tidbit to drop for everybody today. I don't know. Not sure what we're going to do with that. But one of the things that I wanted to incorporate is some of the blogs that I write. Y'all know I write blogs for the Site Supply. I love it. I like to do it a lot. And I wrote a big piece a while back called The Rise of the Dad Shoe. If anybody hasn't noticed, the dad shoes are taking over. StockX wrote a piece that ASICS is taking up leaps and bounds, On Running, Salomon, all taking huge chunks out of the market. Not to say that, Nike and Adidas got anything to worry about, but these brands are on the move. They're rising fast. All you got to do is take a look around. Go to your local mall. Go to wherever you go. You're going to see these chunky, thick-soled, really quality material shoes all over the place. I'm wearing my ASICS left and right. I've been wearing them for running for years. And now it's cool to actually got some nice pairs to actually put on with it. So one of the pieces that I wrote not too long ago, actually just the other day, as a matter of fact, I just wrote this one the other day. So we all noticed that Nike knew that this was happening. There was the dad shoe started to take over. I'd say give or take 2021. We started to see the movement. 2022, they started to really pick up. And then 2023, last year, Nike said, you know what? We're pulling out the Vomero 5. They pulled out the Vomero 5 and just, I swear to God, like every day it was just like Vomero 5 last year, nonstop. I used to actually run in that shoe. It's an incredibly comfortable sneaker. They put out a lot of really cool looking colorways. Some of them were talked about for Sneaker of the Year last year, but make no bones about it. New Balance is the undisputed king of the dad shoe. New Balance has held that title for a long time, and they're not giving it up slowly. So I'd say maybe like October of last year, New Balance ducked in and pulled out the 1906R. They were not going down without a fight. They ain't letting Nike run away with the king of the dad shoe title, however you want to call it. They are coming out swinging. So they brought out the 1906R. I think the first I heard about it was an ALD collab. I'm Leon Dor. I think it was around October. I think that's when I first heard of it. And then as soon as that dropped, it was just like the Vomero 5s. It was 1906R nonstop. We've seen collabs with all the big hitters, and now we see the biggest of them all is ready to come. Nike pulled out the Vomero 5. They took their best shot at it. They took the swing at it. They pulled out the Mac Attack to try to combat the 550s. I don't know if that really worked or so much as the 550s just kind of died off. But Nike took their swing. And if you ever watch the So show suits, there's a guy called Harvey Specter. He's the big shot, hot shot lawyer, and he pulls out the big guns. And one of the quotes that he has on this show is that when somebody pulls out a gun, you pull out a bigger one. And that's exactly what New Balance is doing right here. They pulled out their 1906R. I think Salehi just put out his collab, and now they brought out the biggest gun of them all, which is Kith. This pair got teased not too long ago, but it's gorgeous. Like, it really, really is. I mean, take a look at it. You got the nice soft palette that Kith is known for. You got lighter browns on the toe. You got soft blue on the heel back here. You see it. You got some polished up chrome tones on the front, the cream midsole. The shoe is just absolutely gorgeous. And make no bones, this shoe is New Balance's way of saying, step off, Nike. We're the king of the dad shows. We ain't going nowhere. This is our show to run. This is what we do. Yes, y'all can have your little fun. You can take your Jordans and your Dunks and all that, and your Vomeros are going to be successful in the marketplace, but you are absolutely not taking that title away from New Balance without a fight. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of New Balance. I don't have a whole lot in the collection. I think I maybe have one that I wear with any sort of regularity. I wasn't the biggest fan of the 1906R, the way the shoe kind of splices together. You got some awkward kind of lines to it. You see, where the lines kind of run vertical, kind of create that V shape toward the end logo. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. And you know what? Maybe I am just being a hype piece right here. Maybe I am. I don't know. But the Kith design on it is just flawless. This might be the one that gets me to take a shot at the 1906R. I don't know, but we'll see. I think this is going to be a really, really fun shoe for everybody to get involved with. Let me know what y'all think. Lance, MB, and ALD made that shoe cool again. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a little bit more than just those two, for sure. When I wrote the piece last year for Side Supply called The Rise of the Dad Shoe, what I kind of likened it to was that, the sneaker movement, hype sneakers really took off around the late 80s, early 90s. Those were people that actually saw MJ play in the Garden. They saw the Air Max 95 in 1995. Like, these were people that were around during those days. They had those shoes when they first came out. And now you have people like Ronnie Feig of Kith, who was just starting to cut his teeth back then. I think he was probably still working the stock room at, I think it's called Mr. Z's, something like that. He was probably still working the stock room back then. You have people like JJ Down, people like Teddy Santis. These people are all in their late 40s to early 50s. Some of them are in their late 30s. Kanye West is 52. So the people that are telling you what shoes are hype, the people that are telling you the dopest designs out there, they're getting a little bit older. They're getting a little bit older. The Jordans that they wore back then may not be as comfortable. The Dunks may not be as comfortable. We all know that them Sambas sure ain't comfortable, even though Adidas is trying with everything they have to make that shoe popular again. But yeah, the creativity, I get you, Gustavo. The creativity was absolutely the key. So what I think happened is these shoes, these New Balances, these ASICS, Salomon wasn't really too big back then. But what happened was, these designers, these hype people, these key people, they got a little bit older. They wanted something a little bit different, and they started to tack on the dad shoe. They started to make some cool designs. They started to do the collaborations. They started to put the primo materials on it. And all of a sudden, everywhere you look, people caught on. People caught on to the designs. They caught on to the comfort more than anything. I know myself personally, I used to like the flatter shoes. The J1 was all I wore for a while, but I'm a little bit older. I'm a little bit older now. My knees don't feel as strong. Running around chasing kids all day long, it's not the easiest thing. You get a little strain on you. You need something. Ryan, yeah, I believe there is a brown pair. There's like a brownish kind of goldish pair that leaked out a while back. I haven't seen anything about that since then. But yeah, I believe you're right. I believe there is a second pair of this pack coming in. So that's what I think happened, is the people that are designing these shoes, they got a little bit older. They started looking towards a little bit something. I think Kanye's 52. He started doing a lot of big, chunky, thick soles, cushioned shoes a while back, and this is where it takes off from. These people start telling you that it's cool. Next thing you know, my generation starts thinking it's cool, and then it starts to filter out. The blogs, Twitter, everybody picks up on it. Next thing you know, all the kids are wearing a 991 around school. That's it. That's what I think happened to it. That's how it came about. And now I think this pair right here, the Kith 1906R, may be the freshest of them all. So like I said, Nike tried to do it with their Vomero 5. They did. They did a good shot. The Vomeros, I'd love to see how many they sold last year. But New Balance pulled out the big gun. Comfort and chill is the look. Now, you're absolutely right, Chuck. You're absolutely right. Go take a look at Matt Welty from the Full Size Run. Go take a look at his Twitter page and see what you got to think about them. ASICS and New Balance kept the flame going for the dad shoes. Yeah, absolutely, man. And honestly, I think ASICS is going to be doing some big things in 2024. They got some major collabs lined up. We saw the gallery department at the end of, the end of December 15th, I think that was. They got projects with, I think it's called Earl's Collection. They have projects with Paperboy and Beams drops on the 19th. They got the Hidden NY Gel NYCs coming up. They got a lot of stuff moving. ASICS is going to make a big jump in terms of hype sneakers in 2024. That's my brand to watch. If you want to write that down, Uncle Chrissy's saying ASICS will be the brand to watch. I'm not saying they're going to take over. I'm not saying that. But I am saying they are going to make some leaps and bounds. They are going to do some big things. They are going to be much more prevalent in the streets in 2024. So that's about my rant for the day. That's my TLDR if you don't want to read the blog. So if you do, head over to Site Supply. Check it out. It's all on there. But now, but want to do this for a little bit. I wanted to do a little bit of a recap to talk about what happened in 2023. There was some really cool things that happened in 2023 as far as drop wise. We all know the sneakers that came out. We all know the SOTY list. They all came out. I did mine. We had some fun with that bracket. Everybody's done theirs. We all know what was. It's honestly, it's hard. It's really hard to make a case against the SB4 for Sneaker of the Year. I really don't know how you could. It's the first of its kind. It's not my personal shoe, but a lot of people, the entire masses, I think, really like that shoe. So it's really hard to deny that shoe its credit. But let's not talk about that today. I want to talk about the actual drops themselves. So I brought on one of my homies. We're doing let's call it the second half of the Home and Home series today. I went on his show a little while back, and now we are bringing up my man, Nature Boy Chuck, to the stage to talk about some drops. Chuck,
yo,
what's going on, my man?
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me good, man? I just want to make sure, because I'm loud as shit all the time. So I just want to make sure y'all can hear me.
Yeah. We hear you for sure, brother. We hear you, man. Absolutely.
That's what's up, man. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you for what you do, most importantly. Thank you for bringing me on the show, man. And guys, if you're watching this and you just subscribe or you're thinking about subscribing, you should jump on one of the most prolific people that we have in sneakers right now for sneaker information. There are a lot of cuckoos out there, and Uncle Chrissy is not one. You know what I'm saying? I'm just calling a spade, man. But, for myself, if you guys are watching, you do not know who I am. I am Nature Boy Chuck, man. I've been in this sneaker atmosphere for almost too long. Ever since I joined Twitter in 2010, I think is when I really got into the meat. So non-traditional way of how I do lunches. You'll see that on my Twitter page. It's labeled below. But simply saying I love the kids. All right. I love to give back. You know what I'm saying? And pairing up with somebody like Uncle Chrissy is just find another legit partner in the game. It's great for me, and I love it, man.
It is. It's fun to have actually good people to go back and forth with. People only going to sit here and listen to me run my mouth for so long. But if y'all folks haven't done so already, drop my man a follow. Drop him a sub on YouTube. He does a lot of good things. You'll see when releases come around, SBs, he does a lot of those. He's always got invoices to share with everybody. He's always got some pairs early on. And he's legit. I copped a pair of the Weed SBs? I got those. Yep. I was honestly, I'm not big on buying shoes off social media. I was a little nervous myself, but my man's 100% legit. My man's 100% legit.
Man. Like, you know, it's tough, man, especially buying from a lot of faceless accounts, as we say. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who's behind that picture.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It might be a little 13-year-old girl that's cross-eyed.
Man.
That, stole some money. But, you know what I'm saying? With the comfort to be able to do it, man, right info with great product. It's the mixture that we need in the shoe game. But I'll stop it at that. I'll let you finish it off, bro. Let's do it.
By the way, that hat is kind of fly, man. I like that.
Oh, you like
Kith
that,
LA,
man?
That's sharp, man.
Which one is
sharp?
Oh, yeah. This is the new Kill the Hype, man. They sent me these couple of days ago, man. They got
fresh.
Red pair, green pair, blue pair, pink pair, I think.
That's dope. I like it for sure.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, so let's talk about what happened a little bit last year, man. What do you think? I think we got two interesting perspectives we can talk about. So one thing I want to discuss was Shopify. Shopify made some moves last year. They made some progress. They made some progress in terms of what you can do with sneakers. We saw it first with the Crenshaw Skate Club, right? So
Perfect.
I don't know if everybody was like me, but I got caught off guard by this drop. What about you, Chuck? Did you
Now I'll tell you this, man. The thing I've been watching with a lot of Shopify's made a lot of dev corporate changes behind the scenes. And it's probably about 35% delegated to sneaker sites. Now, you're probably saying, man, all these different companies, all these businesses, you guys have to understand how much traffic sneakers drive more than anything in the world to any website other than, some of your fashion info in Europe, but sneakers drive more web traffic than anything. So I was kind of caught off guard with the email thing. I was thinking probably type in a number, but the email thing actually was brilliant. And the way they mix it until the true followers. Now, this is what I like. I wasn't a big fan or knew anything about Crenshaw until I heard the release. So I searched them, followed the pages, you know what I'm saying? Doing the typical thing a old sneakerhead guy would do to try to get some leverage, right? You know what I'm saying? So you follow all the pages, you read all the stories. And the way they did it, Uncle Chrissy, through the story with the password,
brilliant.
It was
honestly,
perfect.
This was my favorite drop of the year. It was great. And not only that, but it was actually a shock drop. I think it was like slated for 2:00 or something like that. And they ran it at like 1:15 or something like that.
Yep.
They dropped it a little bit early. They pissed off a lot of people. But you know what? The biggest knock on Shopify has always been that they do really nothing to stop bots. They really don't do nothing. And I didn't see a single bot checkout from this. I saw a couple of people that lied to me and told me that they caught the bot, but it didn't happen. Like honestly, like
it did not happen.
It did not happen. I'm sorry. You didn't do it. You didn't. If you did, if anybody can come forward and show me a verifiable checkout from this drop, I'm all ears. Like I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, but it was brilliant. Like I was in the middle of doing stuff at the house, and then all of a sudden I did like you did. I followed their pages. I had the notifications turned on. I saw that they added to their story, and it was the password. I'm like, whoa, this ain't supposed to happen just yet. I ran over to the site. I put the password in, got it in my cart. I was ready to go. I'm like, nobody's tracking this. Like, I haven't seen any pings. This is easy breezy. Like, I might be able to get a 2-piece out of this. And then my fatal flaw was Apple Pay. Apple Pay has always been my go-to, but I went to Apple Pay right from the cart. But the problem with that was Apple Pay bypassed the code. Apple Pay bypassed the email. I'm just sitting there, you're in the queue, you're in the queue, you're in the queue. After like 20 minutes, I see everybody checking out. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then I start seeing all these things about the code. I check my email. Yep, sure anything. There it is. There's the email in my code. But I got stuck. I got perma-queued on it. And yeah, man. But honestly, like it was brilliant because it was I thought anyway, it's a really analog way. Like there was nothing high tech about this. Everybody's been doing 2FA email codes. That ain't nothing new. You know, every retail store in America does that. But this was, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant the way they did this drop. They got the pairs, like you said, they got the pairs in the hands of the fans, of the real collectors. And I applaud them. You know, I know a lot of people were upset about it, but you know, people are going to be upset about every drop there ever is. So I don't fault them for this. I say hats off to them for this, man. This was good.
And it was perfect too, man. And this is when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, okay, I saw the activity on their main platform. Like they have a Twitter account, you know what I'm saying? They have a TikTok, but this was a page that they had all the activity on. And a lot of times with these drops, we got to start to look at the aspect of the ownerships of these companies, like these group of young guys, the guy who's pretty much a face of Crenshaw Skate Club, and realize, like, you know what, these young kids think different, man. And they are in the ways of thinking how to relate to my fans, because a lot of times you get so high up, as we've seen with Adidas, Yeezy Supply, which, you know, we'll get to that. But people start to forget about Travis Scott. Let me use that for example. All people's always yelling, oh, he forgets about the fans. He's not doing it for the fans. But these young kids, I think a lot of these young kids actually thought of this on this drop and be like, you know what? We go tap into the people who love us. And I think it was great. It was the perfect scenario. And we're going to see a lot more of that in 2024. Easy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're going to see that. We saw something a little bit similar not too long after that with the Union drop. Union drop, they actually put out that human pass, which was the first time I see anything like that. I think they did a domain change and the human pass,
And the
right?
human. That is correct.
Yeah. So the domain change, like that's nothing new. We've seen that before. Amamanier debuted that years ago. And it's a great tool. It slows bots down just a little bit, but a lot of bots have caught on. A lot of bots have figured out ways to. I honestly, you taught these young kids think different, and there's a 13-year-old behind his desk somewhere figuring out ways to do this stuff, and they are way smarter than me that they can actually detect these domain changes early. Like I know some people that I know had the domain early. We tried to get it out there as fast as I could, but this human pass, not everybody saw it. Not everybody noticed that you had to add that to your cart. It was interesting.
And I like the way they did it too, because anything that's obscene or new, it makes the person who's actually a human slow down. Because as soon as I clicked the page, I saw it. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, should I click it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was perfect too. It added another layer of time where people slow down. And a lot of people got to realize this too. Sneakers is a lot different. It's a mobile bot. Of course, it has all kind of money behind it. You got Shopify, who's limited for its access. And what they really want to do is control the speeds of people getting to the end of the cart fast, where it's going to bog it down. And I think when they did the human pass, it made it a smoother checkout scenario. But it gave the real people who are standing behind their phones or their desktops, you know what I'm saying, the ability to be able to cop. Now, I've been known to bot a lot, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. And I kind of got away from it because I stopped doing a lot of the bulk orders and got into the checkout links. But this is one of those obscene things that made a lot of these bot companies just go away. I mean, you're talking about bots that used to cost thousands of dollars for, Dragon. What's some of the other popular ones? I can't even remember all of them.
Rat shut down. Rat shut down shop. Rat was the biggest, baddest bot forever, and they shut down shop. They completely closed it. They're done. Like they don't exist anymore. And like you said it, these bots were reselling for $6,000-$7,000 during the pandemic. And as a collector, as a manual guy, it's a good day for me. But it's crazy to see the way that the game is going. You see that evolution, and I'm sure bots that stick with it, they'll figure something out. They'll figure out a way to combat this. And the picture that I have up is for the Dawn pair, but they did the exact same thing on the Unions. They did the same thing for the Unions, and it was interesting, man. And like you said, I'm sitting there going for the Unions, and I hit add to cart, and I had to double check for a second. I'm like, hold on, let me find out they ain't trying to charge me for something else. Once I saw $0.00, yeah, exactly. Because I see two items in my cart. I'm like, hold up, wait, I only want one. I just want one. And then I saw 0.00. I'm like, all right, maybe this is it. Maybe he's gonna send it, see what happens, and kind of hope for the best. But it was cool. It was cool to me to see that Shopify, if they want to, they can. You know what I mean? If they want to, they can. Which kind of brings me to my next point. If you want to, you can. So I'm going to talk about these two together here, but Supreme and Born and Raised. They didn't do a damn thing. They did absolutely nothing. No bot protection whatsoever. And Supreme, I love Supreme. I've been a Supreme head for a long, long time. If you saw on my top cops of last year, I was able to reach back and finally get the Black Star dunks. My friend gifted me those, but this is the one release that I was targeting all year. This was probably my number one priority. There it is. See? Yep.
I got them all. I
there
just
you
did
go,
a video
man.
on them too.
There you go. Hey, honestly, like this is a no shoe house. We don't wear shoes in the house, or else I'd probably have them on too. See, I just got on my cheap little Adidas slides right now. My house.
Hey, look, I slid these on, man, while the wife, she's not here. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying it right now.
Hey, your secret's safe with me, my man. But this one came third in line. So we had what was it? We had the Crenshaw, we had the Union, and I was excited. I'm like, all right, we're going to see something new here, because Supreme's a big company, and they were always a little bit of an innovator with bot protection when they had their own platform. They were the first ones to do that. What was it, the hold to complete the circle bit?
Hold to complete the circle.
Yep. And then when they moved over to Shopify last year, I was hesitant, because I've always had good luck manually. I've had good success manually on Supreme, Then they moved to Shopify. I was nervous. I tested out a couple drops earlier in the year. They got rid of Apple Pay. I was even more nervous. So what I did, I did an old-fashioned sock check. You see, that's my checkout right there. The drop was on Thursday. I think Sunday afternoon, I put the socks in my cart. I put the socks in my cart. I entered all my shipping information, and I honestly, every couple of hours for the next 3 days, I was literally refreshing to make sure it was all there, so that all I had to do was input my payment information. But I was excited because I saw what happened with Crenshaw. I saw what happened with Union. I'm like, all right, they're going to have something. Supreme's huge. They're $1 billion company right now. I'm like, they got the dough. They got the dough to invest in something, right? No. And then you get it. The shoe goes live. You get to your cart. You get through the queue. Nothing. Absolutely nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. I was a little disappointed. Nothing.
But and this is my thing that went back to it, man. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't expect them to do absolutely nothing. Simply because I knew they wanted this draw of the sellout to be just so quick and abrasive, just to bring the hype to them. And when it happened so fast, we look back at it, the stores were getting broken into. You know what I'm saying? They were getting broken into.
Nuts.
They had to stop the release, and it hurt the people right there in the area because I got a couple of them back door. But anyway, they wanted to drive this hype, you know what I'm saying? And they did have a good amount that was actually available. There was a lot of stuff going around that, was going to be real limited. But they did bring the inventory, which was great. But that's my thing with Supreme, man. I think Supreme is becoming a struggle fest to drive that hype again. I feel like they have the urge like they're losing it. So let's combat it with doing this. You know what I'm saying? You're going to drop 2 pair of the hottest shoes with the colorways to years to come. This is going to be an absolute jewel, of course.
Absolutely. It's a work of art.
And and they dropped it like this, and we're going to look back on it like, man, they really didn't do nothing. Now, I will tell you this. Supreme did hire, coming up for this next season that they got coming up also, they hired a new head of tech at Supreme, and you'll probably find out soon. But they've hired a new guy. Now, if he's going to bring something different from for Shopify, I don't know. But they have had a new hire in the company for the tech division. Now, is there going to be tech on some other end? I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of it can be as far as the app.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The app is terrible. But for the website and the control itself, I think they're making some way to change that.
Interesting. I'll definitely keep an ear out for that. But I was a little bit upset. The only thing that they did that helped out users was they reset the queue right at 11 because for those of you who don't know, bots can get into the queue before the shoe even goes live. They can have it ready. They can be past the checkpoint, which is exactly what I did with my sock chick. It's the same thing, but the bots can do it on a massive replicatable scale that manual users can't do, and they can check out faster than you can, man. I don't care who you are. But they reset the queue because at 10:30 Eastern time, you started hearing the queues building. 11:45, you got a 40-minute queue. I'm like, all right, it's a wrap. Like if they don't reset the queue, like I'm just wasting my time here. And then, but as soon as it went live, I got in and look at your boys' checkout time right there. I checked out at 11 on the dot. They reset the queue, and that's the only thing that gave manual users a shred of a chance. And bots still took stock. They did. And, same thing happened on the Born and Raised drop. These 2 drops were virtually identical. If you didn't check out in the first minute, you were done for manually because there were so many checkout errors. But it's interesting to hear what you say.
Yeah, now the thing I did like that Born and Raised did, and they could have kept the same freaking energy, is with the people who have already purchased and had an email account with them where you can log into it, because that's what happened. Like I bought a couple of hats from them. So I got the link early to be able to log in.
You got in there. Okay.
Yeah, and buy the shoes. Man, it was easy breezy. They could have kept the same energy, allow people who have purchased or sent out the email again for people to check out, because I already knew they were not ready for it. And let me tell you this, the family, rest in peace to Spano, first of all. But let me tell you something, man. And I hate to put them on blast, but I am. But the way they handled a lot of different things for us, the end of that release and the stock was absolutely horrible. Then I benefit a little bit off of it, yes, but I'm still a realist. They could have handled that drop a lot better. But what ended up happening is greed always finds its way into the structure, and it found its way into the structure with this release and with the family. Now, I'm not mad if they're going to get that money because they're losing a perennial piece of their family, which is going to make them money. So there's nothing wrong with that. But man, you can't do it in the shady way that you did to expect people to still respect you after the drop. But I think some lessons were learned, and whatever. Some customers got some loyalty back. But the way they did the drop for so much they put into the build up was a huge letdown.
Yeah. The actual online drop was nothing special. Like you said, every reseller in America had massive stock of backdoor repairs. It seemed like with that. The one thing I did like was how they did, like you said, they took care of their loyals. They did the in-store raffles. Although I heard, I wasn't out there, but I heard a lot of stories that wasn't exactly on the up and up.
No.
And then the way you said that they you had the code early for the for the people that have spent money with them. I'm always in support of that, especially these smaller shops. You want to take care of the people that take care of you on a day in and day out basis. Hey, I'm with that 100%. You want to give them exclusive access? Absolutely, man. Do your thing. It's all the more power to you. I salute you for that. But like you said, I think Born and Raised may have actually done themselves a detriment in the long run than they actually benefited. Yeah, they benefited. I mean, you're gonna sell them dunks anyway. Like, you're gonna sell them out.
You're gonna sell them.
You're not gonna have a problem with it. Like, I don't get it.
And that's one reason. I did on my last live that I actually did, the last episode. I did my top 10, and I did not have Born and Raised in my top 10. Simply because I thought it was so much emotion attached to it, but so much family involvement for us, how everybody was able to get the shoes or not able to get the shoes. I just didn't put the shoe in because I think it had a ton of emotional attachment to it. And I know some people are like, wow, oh my God, he didn't have that shoe. Man, it was other shoes that were worthy of top 10 rather than just Born and Raised. Because let's be honest, before the death of him, when he came out, everybody said, oh man, yeah, those dunks are cool. Got a little bit too much writing on it. Oh, it's too bold. So it goes from me buying them for $350 to, oh man, Chuck, if you want these backdoor pads, they're $700. So the looks of the shoe didn't change. You know what I'm saying? The emotional state of that shoe changed, which drove the price up.
Same thing happened with Kobe's. I hate to see something like this, a tragic event, turn into something like this. It is what it is. I hate to say it, but hopefully they live and learn. But let's talk about the sneakers app a little bit. They had, honestly, I'm a proponent of the sneakers app. Like, I think Nike does as good of a job as giving manual users a chance as anybody out there. I know a lot of people come at me every time I say that, but tell me who does a better job. Who gives manual users a better chance? They do things like the sneakers cam that they did for the Run the Jewels. Like, I mean, what do you want them to do aside from hand you a pair? They tweeted the picture out early, then they deleted it. They gave you access to it. They do cool things like the scratcher releases. Like, honestly, like, nobody's bought that. Nobody's bought a scratcher release.
No, not at all, dude.
Got it wrong.
And
nobody's bought those things.
People don't understand, like, a normal site release for, we'll take the Crenshaw dunks in, for example, the amount of traffic that a Shopify site had. Sneakers gets at least 8 to 9 times more. And it's a mobile app. Come on, man. It's a big difference.
It's nuts. And you look at what Nike does, and they're probably getting millions upon millions of entries for everything that they do. And there's just no way to please everybody. There really isn't. There's no way to get everybody in a pair. I applaud them for doing different things like exclusive access, like shock drops, like scratchers, like the cams. The powder puff one, it could have gone better for sure. They did everything they could to kind of get that one up there. Gotta pat my own self on the back there. You know where you heard that one first. You know where you heard that scratcher was coming out first. But it was there. There was a lot of people that had a lot of trouble with it, myself included. It didn't really work out for me. I knew how to troubleshoot it. But I think it was just a matter of, like you said, there was just too many people, too much traffic for any server to be able to handle that. Yeah, there's nobody that can handle that.
And I think that what was amazing is before you got to the third pair, Nike actually caught on to the error that was happening and adjusted on the freaking fly. I mean, come on, man. No, but everybody else is just too lazy to do that. And for them to adjust on the fly, somebody's looking at, you know what, that's messing up, man. We can't do that one on the last one. And the error that people was having is soon as it dropped, right, the shoe pops in. So you click the link and you got the map. You're trying to scratch it off. That was the issue with that drop. You had, as soon as you clicked it for the image, you had to exit out, click it again, scratch, bam, it opens right up. So it was a technical glitch. Of course, some people caught it. I'm just a nerd sometimes because I always expect something dumb to happen. So I always do something dumb. And, you know, and they end up working out a little bit. But Sneakers is doing a way better job. Uncle Chrissy, my only problem that I have with freaking Sneakers is give me a real shot drop, man. Give me a real shot. Not the, hey, guys, 15 minutes before, hey, bots, we want you to come join the party with us. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're going to be dropping. Oh, yeah, come on in. Here's the SKU. The link is loaded. You know what I'm saying? They got to give us the real shock drops back. That is the thrill of it. Now, I know they're trying to appeal to the working class. I'm a working man too, Uncle Chrissy. Thank God I got a computer in front of me all day. And, you know, I run a dealership, so I'm not running around a lot. But give me the vibe of a real shock drop. I don't want these mother suckers to prepare for anything. I want it to drop. That's how you're going to get more manual success.
Yeah, I agree. But come on, man, that's my bread and butter is the shock drop stuff. But I hear you, though. Like, I hear you.
But think about it, though. Like, think about this. We knew about the shock drops before they got loaded most of the times. Like the way they did it on the back end. Now it's front end locked. You know what I'm saying? So you see it. So I ain't knocking you back. See, if they do the back end, Uncle Chrissy still go no, or he go get the call. Hey, bro, it's coming up, man. Drop the info now. You know what I'm saying? But I just love the nostalgia of, dang, man, boy, I was at work, man. And I caught the Kobe's, bro. You know what I'm saying? I miss the vibe of that intense. You got to go hide in the bathroom, wait 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Then you still don't get them. No, give me the real.
You got good service wherever you're at. Yeah. Like what they do, I think on the East Coast anyway, the Travis Jordan ones, they dropped like 8 o'clock at night, like back in 2018 when they did that shock drop.
Yep. That was insane.
They dropped late. They dropped late for those. But the only thing I will say about that is nowadays, we talk about the bots evolving. All of them have these automation tasks. So if the manual users don't know that a shock drop is coming, you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. That's why, like when Nike does those, when they do the restocks on the Nike app, like don't waste your time. Like, yeah, you might get lucky and catch here and there, but for the most part, it's not worth the effort because the bots, they have these SKUs loaded. The second they hit the back end, they're checking out before you can even see it in your app.
That's true.
They're checking out before you even had the chance. So that's why I try to do what I do is to give people at least a fighting chance, let them know that at least it's coming, you know, so at least it's not just going to be a total bot fest for everybody.
Yeah, a disaster.
But
because it used to be, man. I mean, a lot of them, I just used to like the vibe of like, okay, you know, you're in the cook group or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, dang, man, I heard this go shock drop today, but it hadn't loaded yet. You know what I'm saying? But I forget about it too, because I'm not a normal person when it comes to shoes. So the normal person out in the world, yeah, man, they don't stand a chance. They don't know.
Yeah, so exactly. But it's good to see them do some different things. We saw Nike do a lot this year. We saw Yeezys come back this year. Adidas. Yeah. It was, I mean, they did kind of like a few different Yeezy days, you know, where they kind of, you know, clustered a bunch of drops together. I think there was 2 drops, right? There was two big drops in 2023, the second half of the year.
Yep.
The biggest drama that I saw was with the first drop. I think it was when they did the Pirate Blacks. There was a lot of glitches. There was a lot of loops. Like you mentioned the cook group, one of them that I was in noticed early on that you could enter for your size. You could get out of the raffle, go back in, enter for a different size, and it was a lock. It was instant win. I don't know if Adidas meant it to be that way or if it was a loop that they caught on to. Like, I don't know. The Adidas ones, they were a little sloppy, man. They were a little sloppy
real
on
sloppy,
Adidas'
man.
end.
Because you got to think about it. The other shoe that brought so much hype, which was right before that, because this was only the second 350. You had the Turtle Doves first. Then you had the first round of the Black Pirates, other than the other three. But anyway, you had the first round. So that glitch was awesome, man. That glitch was absolutely perfect. I caught it too late, though. I caught it by mistake because I'm sitting by the computer and my wife, she calls me and she says something. I just bumped the keyboard and it goes back. So I was like, oh, man, I got out of there. Let me go back and put my shoe in cart. Boom. I'm like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? And there we go. You know, with the Black Pirates, one of the most prolific shoes when those 350s dropped, dude. That black, other than the Turtle Doves, we already know what the Turtle Doves was, but that Black Pirate was already a game changer, and it was so much hype about it, man. I got to tell you something, man. Yeezy days, Yeezy supply, when the Yeezy supply happened, it was like a holiday. It was like a national freaking holiday for all guys who were into sneakers, because you knew for a fact when you woke up, that was the only freaking thing you were doing. And when you hit,
you'd be going from 8 a.m. till midnight, it seemed like.
To midnight, dude. And not even just this site with Yeezy Supply, you know, when they had Adidas confirmed with the Zebras themselves too. You know, the glitch that you had back and forth with that. Nobody can tell me that they don't miss those releases. Those releases were absolute gold for some, but some people hated it. But man, when you hit, you couldn't tell me nothing for that day. I mean, I want to put a fit on and go to the club. I'm choosing somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Just get it right then and there, huh?
Yeezys.
Just getting it right then and there. My man went hard on that.
It's going down.
I like it.
The look was also, man, now I can honestly say with Yeezy Supply, and this was my first time I actually ever did something where I gave back to Twitter and sneakers. They had the 350 release. This was the Belugas. This was when the first Beluga came out, right? I was able to find a glitch with the checkout link where I erased the back end, and it just kept going. And I think upwards, at that time, I only had like 300 followers, man. Maybe 300. And I think from the success on that, man, it was somewhere around 100 people checked out with that link. The craziest glitch I ever experienced, dude. Just take the back end off, leave the checkout with the one. Man, I dropped the link on Twitter, man, and it just worked. Oh, I'm talking about it sold out so fast after that, man.
I wish I was following you back then, because
man, that
I had to pay the tax on that shoe, bro. I had to pay the tax on that one. God, I paid like $350 on eBay the next day for that shoe.
Ooh, man. I miss those days, man. I miss those days. But that's what really started Nature Boy Tug, man, was that day. Yeezy Supply. I will never forget it. Never forget it.
Well, there was actually another one with the Pirate Black. So the next day after the drop, one of my homies hit me up and said, dude, make a new account. I had a status. I had an A-list account, right? Tier 4 account. I had spent so much money on Adidas. I'd done well. I didn't hit a damn thing. Not a single thing on none of those Yeezy drops. The day after the Pirate Black, because that drop dragged down for like 3 days. My boy hit me up. He said, make a new account. I made a new account. I entered. I hit instantly. The next day after the drop happened, like there was so many issues. It really was like Adidas was like, you know, hey, we just got to kind of make this look good. You know what I mean? Like we got to try to make something look good, but like get these Yeezys out of here. We need to make as much money as we can. We lost a fortune the first half of the year by not selling these shoes off. So let's just try to save a little bit of face and get going with these things, man. Get out of here with these. But you know, it is what it is. There's rumors of another Yeezy day coming up. Sometime in Q1. I don't think anybody really knows the full details on that.
Full details.
From what I heard, Kanye ruffled a lot of feathers with that $200 Yeezy slide drop, and he's kind of pulled back from everything. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I'm hearing. And I don't know if we're going to see any more Yeezy drops. I would guess they will. Adidas ain't going to burn the stock. Come on, they're a company that has to move units. They're going to sell at some point. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So don't sweat it. But
they're gonna move them, man. I think they still feel like they're little snake bit from it, and they have their new what they want to call boy toy, which Jerry Lorenzo. So they want to kind of push him as much as possible. And how I feel about it. I love the guy. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, we talked about that on your show. Yeah.
Man, but he just stepped out so hard. But anyway, right now it's looking like it's actually working. But we'll see when it can stabilize for the normal person who can buy stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with them. But there was a couple more drops that I wanted to talk to you about real quick. These were probably my two most favorite drops of the year because they were just completely out of the box. First one was the Kith X-Men pack, man. Like that was so much fun. It got leaked out. I wrote a big blog about it. It was the release that I think I saw somebody say the release that no one knew they wanted and people can't get enough of. And that's exactly what it was, man. It was so cool because it triggered that inner child in you. I used to collect cards as a kid. I used to love X-Men as a kid. Me and my dad had a whole bunch of sports cards that we used to trade back and forth. I'm sure you did the same thing, had the long boxes, breaking the boxes, all of that. And like they triggered that. Like I don't know how they did it. The shoes were, they're nothing special. They're a little bit hard to wear.
It was all right.
Yeah. But like it was so much fun. Like I couldn't get enough of that release, man. Like it was awesome. And then the way they did it with the rollout at what do you call it? Comic-Con out in San Diego to the Kith strike again, completely out of the blue, just like Crenshaw did. Like that was fun, man. That was a fun drop that showed you again, like there's ways to do it if you want to do it. Like there's ways.
It is, man, and that's one thing I give to Ronnie, man. He is a marketing freaking genius, and he takes the aspect of film and transition into the releases, and it becomes not only just nostalgic, but it's appealing to the vibes of, dang, I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's what he did, and I think with the Comic-Con was one thing that spread it across 3 different releases. You know what I'm saying? And with releasing that shoe that way, man, it just drove the freaking hype all the way up. Yeah. And I even did a video on that too when I was opening my box. Dude, I was excited, man. I mean, you got
it was so much fun.
You got the character and what kind of card I'm gonna get. Oh, how is it rated? Man, come on, man.
It was big because you mentioned there was 3 different releases on that shoe, and normally when you get a staggered release like that, it's just doom. Like that's a death sentence for a shoe to have that kind of release. But the sneaker community is big. But believe me when I tell you, the sneaker community pales in comparison to the comic community. The comic book community
massive
dwarfs that. Sneakers is not a fraction of what that sneaker is.
Not even close.
If you've ever been to Comic-Con event and you ever been to a sneaker con event, that's all you need to know about. That's all you need to know.
True.
But
very true.
Like it was fun. Like you said, it ignited that inner child. It made you feel like Christmas morning almost. With the blind box and it was fun. It was fun. It was really, really fun. I had a lot of enjoyment on it. You mentioned Ronnie being a marketing genius. Honestly, the guy just seems like he's a step ahead of everybody else in the game right now.
Every time.
He really does. He seems like he's ahead of everybody. He really does. Look at those 1906Rs. He did it better than anybody. But
oh man.
But the one other drop that I thought was just, oh man, this was just fun. This was old school. This was vintage, man. Woo. Corteiz, right? How did I mess this up again? Damn it. Corteiz, my man Clint. The Air Max 95s. He put out the 3-pack of it, and this release. Man. Not a lot of people even knew about it. Like people didn't even know it was going down.
I caught it late.
Because it was.
I caught it late.
Yeah. It was guerrilla warfare. It was absolute bedlam. I put out a blog on this for Side Supply, and as soon as he put the post out, they hit me up like, "Yo, we need this published in 30 minutes. Get it done." I figured out what I had to figure out. We got it out because it was happening literally that day. So for those of you who might not know about this, but so they did releases in New York, London, and Paris. And each time they did it with just meet us at this location, and that led you to another location where they actually had the shoes, and it was just nuts. They shut down city blocks in New York City, Paris, and London. Shut streets down in 3 of the biggest cities in the world. A security guard got knifed at one of them. New York City had to completely shut the block down, shut the drop down, but it was bedlam, man. Like it was so much fun. People seemed to behave, except for that one guy who pulled a knife on the security guard. It was just You hate to see the kind of stuff like that, but this was
Right.
this is Corteiz. You saw what he did with the Supreme drop
Yep.
a couple weeks ago, where he just put up that shipping container and, hey, line up, folks, come get him. It was cool.
Yeah, the creativity was awesome on it. I always like the drive of the marketing, man. You can't never go wrong with it. It's just something about when you can just paint a picture and a story with it. You know what I'm saying? This story will be taught. We'll tell our kids later about this story. Like, man, let me tell you about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I missed the whole drop because I'm not in those areas. But sitting back, going through social media, watching the calamity on it, I loved every bit of it. Anytime
it was fun, man. It was exciting.
Sneakers can make mainstream like that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it was fun. Like you said, I didn't have a chance to get it either. I sat through the online drop, sat through the queue only to find out they didn't ship to the US. So it is what it is. But it was fun. It was fun. But that's what I got for 2023. So
yes,
we're going to talk about 2024. Chuck, if you want to stick around for a bit, I appreciate it. If you want to get on your way, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being the very first guest of the Drop Shop, man. I really do.
Hey, man, Uncle Chrissy, I appreciate you guys. Hey, guys, if you're watching, you're subscribed, or if you're not subscribing, which you have to be on this freaking show. That's the only way you're watching it. Make sure you stick with this guy, man. You're going to get legit information, a real human that you can see his face. You can't touch it, but you can see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm Nature Boy Chuck. Any help you ever need with sneakers, check out links. I am here. My channel is
He's the truth, man. He's the truth.
Pure entertainment in the sneaker business. When it comes to the info, you'll see my guy here, Uncle Chrissy, slide in. Man, I'm about to go cook some chicken nuggets with the kids. I appreciate you, Uncle Chrissy. But guys, stay here for some info because I know he's about to drop a straight jewel. See you guys.
Hey, real quick before you get out of here, man. Real quick before you get out of here, what are you looking forward to? What's your one seed for 2024?
This is probably gonna throw a lot of people off. Well, not really, but the one shoe that I'm really looking forward to is a Jordan 4. Okay. And it is gonna be coming out very soon. I think you might be talking about it soon because I'm an OG. You know what I'm saying? I'm an OG. I'm looking forward to this shoe. My second shoe, because I got to throw this out here.
Okay.
It's another. No, I ain't gonna do another one. It's gonna be the Travis Scott Olive Black. Travis Scott Olive Black low. That the green on top of that black.
It's nice.
You can believe it. It's gonna be complete mayhem. But those are my two ones I'm looking for. I'll let you talk about the first one.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man. I really do, man. Thank you so much for joining in with us. Folks, if you haven't dropped my man a sub already, do it right now. Don't waste any more time. He puts out some really cool stuff. Like he said, it's just fun entertainment. He puts out some really fun stuff. He's got you with the checkout links. My man right there, Nature Boy Chuck. Once again, thank you so much, my man. I really, really appreciate
you, man. I'll see y'all. Holla.
All right. Peace. So let's talk a little bit. I got a couple little tidbits that I'm going to share with everybody about some things that are coming up. I saw this question a little while back. We'll touch on that real quick. So the Trophy Room Fund, how's that drop going to go this year? So that drop is slated for February 15th. We're only going to see one of those pairs released on the SNKRS app. The rest of them, you're going to have to get over to Trophy Room down there in Tampa, I believe it is. But honestly, I'd temper your expectations on this one, folks. Stock is probably going to be absolutely bare bones. You're only going to have the one shot to cop unless you actually live near Trophy Room. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard. One thing I do want to say about this shoe is that a lot of people don't know that the material on this shoe is actually a polyester. It's a polyester blend that's kind of like the old warm-up suits that hoopers used to wear back in the 90s. And that's what this shoe is designed after, one of MJ's old warm-up suits. So think about that before you go wearing it. Polyester can be incredibly hot, not really breathable. Might be a little bit much for you in the summertime. But it's fun to see. Let's get back through some of the comments. Come on, nice, Chuck. Hopefully you're still tuned in and you can see this homeboy shouting you out right here. Would have never been able to touch these at retail if it wasn't for you. Nice. Good to see you showing my man some love. But also I want to talk about another shoe real quick. So I touched on this a little bit earlier last week, and I'm going to touch on this one again right now. So the Court Purple. I'm going to drop a little bit of a tidbit here for you folks. So now that we have a date, we have the date of January 27th. I'm going to do a full-on release guide for this one tomorrow, but if you're tuned in with me today, I'm going to tell you the stock numbers. So like I said earlier, the stock number on this one is pretty high. I think this is going to be the biggest Nike SB Dunk drop in the SNKRS app history. The only reason I can't say that categorically is because I don't know the historical data. I heard that the Travis SB was the biggest one, somewhere around the 75 to 100,000 one. This one is going to dwarf that. There's 145,000 pairs of the Court Purple SB Dunks loaded on the SNKRS app right now. 145,000, folks. If you've been looking on Twitter, these pairs are all over already. I got mine sitting over there in the corner. Most skate shops have already done their raffles. A lot of skate shops have had multiple size runs. I saw somebody put up on the comments on one of my Twitters that they sat in line at their logo for 45 minutes. They thought it was going to be a wrap. They got to the front of the line, and the store had only sold out of 5 and 6.5 for sizes. They still had every size after 45 minutes. Normally, these SB shops, folks, they get one size run, maybe two. Big shops like CSC, like Premier, they get multiples for sure. Undefeated will get a healthy stock, but for the most part, these stores will get one size run of these shoes. So the Court Purple SB Dunk, this shoe right here, this shoe is going to run you 145,000 pairs. So do what you got to do to enter it. You will see these load up. They're already loaded actually on the app for January 27th. And this is going to be one of, if not the biggest drops in SNKRS app history. Mark my words, these won't be too hard to come by. If you don't get them, I think resale's already in the gutter on it. So lucky you. But again, Chuck kind of alluded to these. This was the shoe that he was really looking forward to. No big secret is the Bred 4. I don't want to talk too much about this shoe just yet, but the Bred 4s. So there's a big stock. There is. I'm just going to talk about this. I don't want to put any data out there just yet. There's a big stock out there. There's numbers floating around. The initial stock has been seen. So the initial stock is on Nike. I tweeted out that I saw this. I know the number that's there right now. I don't yet want to put that out there because I don't believe it's the final number. I think there's still going to be more pairs that load up on the SNKRS app. We saw this happen a lot with them. We saw this happen with the Gratitudes 11. One number loaded up a couple weeks before the drop. That number nearly doubled. Was the Reimagined Royals. That number went from like 285 to like 600,000 pairs overnight. So I don't want to say this just yet because I don't want to create any confusion. I don't want people to maybe get down about it. I don't want people to get excited about it. But I can tell you that the number is looking pretty big for a Jordan 4, especially for the Reimagined. I'm guessing this will be bigger than the Chicago's. I think Chicago's was somewhere in the 250 to 300,000 range. This is going to be bigger than that. For sure, we are actively trying to track this. We are actively looking at these things every day from a multitude of levels, not just the back end stuff. We got a multitude of things that we're looking at. GP, what's good, man? Appreciate you for tuning in. Undefeated dropped on last Thursday. It seemed like really low stock on the site. I'm assuming you're talking about Core Purples. Yeah, there might have been a lot low stock on the site, but I guarantee they had those sitting in stores at every one of their locations for people to come in and grab every day. But again, back to those Bred 4s. They are going to be plentiful. They are going to be bountiful. I think around February 10th or 11th, we're going to see DSG load up their wristbands. So definitely keep an eye on that. Somewhere around Tuesday before the drop, we'll see JD go live with their EA for in-store option. Then probably Thursday or Friday, we'll see the ship to me option. And last but not least is going to be the SNKRS app. So shock drops. I don't have a date yet. I don't. There's nothing loaded. Anybody who tells you they have a date, they're absolutely lying to you. They're absolutely just trying to string you along. Every single Twitter, every single YouTube out there is saying shock drop this, shock drop that. None of them know. I promise you that none of them have a date, and they're all just putting out something vague and generic so that they can say, we called it first. No, you didn't, because you didn't put out a date and time. So once I hear this thing, and rest assured, folks, I'm doing everything I can to find this. But if y'all know me by now, I do everything I can to find out all the data for sure before I say anything. And I don't have a date on the shock drop. I do think we're going to see a shock drop. I do think we're going to see exclusive access on these. But as soon as I know a little bit more, I will let you know. There is one more thing that I do want to talk about real quick before we wrap it up here. I think that we're going to see the Year of the Dragon Jordan 1 lows at some stores. I think we're going to see a sneakers pass on the 23rd. I think we're going to see a sneakers pass for the Jordan 1 lows on the 23rd. It could also be a first come, first serve, but I can say that a lot of the big city stores, I'm sorry, folks, but your stores in New York, LA, the same ones that always get the sneakers pass, they have some stock of the Year of the Dragon Jordan lows. I think we're going to see a sneakers pass for that on the 23rd, or we'll see those stores just do FCFS on the 24th themselves. So stay tuned for that. What I know for sure, I'll get that out. If you can, folks, please drop me a sub. I'd really, really appreciate it. I want to get this thing going. I want to build this podcast into something special. I want to build something big with this. I want to thank again my man Nature Boy for tapping in with us, being the first guest in the history of the Drop Shop. And that's it. That's about all I got. If anybody has any questions, I'll do what I can to stick around here for a quick second. Ryan, is EA for sure? No, nothing's for sure. I'm just saying that based off of historical patterns. They did the same thing with the Chicagos. They did the same thing with the White Cements. They did the same thing with the Reimagined Royals. That's just how their patterns have been going lately. So I'm expecting to see it. No, there's nothing actually dialed in for that. Trophy rooms in Orlando. My bad. I said Tampa. So if you're near there, you're going to have a much better shot to cop than the rest of us. Yeah, in-store, Chuck. Like I said, the big cities are the ones that have them, and it's limited. But there are going to be some stores. Don't be surprised to see a sneakers pass for the for the Year of the Dragon Jordan lows. There's pretty big stock overall. I think it's around like 70,000, 75 for the Year of the Dragon, the 1 low OGs. So that'll be a fun one. Eric Castellano, thank you for the info and the honesty. I appreciate you for tuning in. Jesus, thank you for tuning in. Thank you each and every one of you for tuning in. I'm going to get on about my day. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Drop Shop. Please, if you can, share this video with all your friends. Drop me a sub. It's really, really going to help out a lot when we try to build this thing for the future. Thank you again to each and every one of you who took the time out of your day. That's happened with me. Thank you, Nature Boy, for tuning in with us, being the first guest here. And that's about a wrap for me, folks. So, again, Uncle Chrissy signing off from the Drop Shop, y'all. Appreciate you.